Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea Salmons, and I'm the Senior Marketing Officer for Enjoy Staffordshire. We're the organisation that run the Enjoy Staffordshire Tourism and Good Food Awards. Our competition enters its 10th year this year, so we're hoping to have the bigger and best competition that we can possibly have. So we're really glad that you've all joined us to find out the hints and tips from our host today, Nell Barrington. And Nell works with our judges for Services for Tourism, who are putting on the workshop to give you some insider tips on how to write good applications. We're also pleased to welcome Mark Ellis, who is the head of operations at the National Memorial Arboretum, and he's going to give you a little bit of information about why the Arboretum enters awards and what they get from it. So thank you very much.
Is that my cue, Andrea?
No, we'll let Nell go first, and then you.
No worries.
Thank you for that introduction, Andrew. That's great, and it's lovely to see you all here today. I just wanted to say, before I start sharing my screen with you and you all disappear, if you've got any questions, if you want to pop them in the chat, and then we'll come back to them later on. But in the meantime, just to let you know, we'll be sending out a copy of this PowerPoint to you after the event without the images in it, so it's not so big. So you don't necessarily have to make loads of notes, but you might want to make additional notes. Yeah, I'll be sharing the screen. So you're gonna disappear now while I share my screen and we go through some exciting content for you so that you can write your best entry and be a winner like Mark. Okay, so we're going to start now. So here we go. So we're all here today because of the Staffordshire Tourism and Good Food Awards, which are open for entry. And it's very, very exciting. As Andrea said, they've been going for a while now, and it's very exciting. And here's an image of all the Visit England Awards, because these awards are a start of a journey. So your entry that you put in for the Staffordshire Awards, if you win, you could go through to the Visit England Awards, which is very exciting. So today we're going to cover why people like you enter the awards. We're going to go through the actual process, so how we log into the system, how we create an application form, and then we're going to go through question by question, some tips to help you create your best answer. And then finally, we'll just go on to the next steps and share some useful links with you. So why do businesses enter the awards? It's all about local excellence. Your area is fantastic. It's got a range of businesses in it. And by entering these awards, you're really helping to put your destination on the map. And it makes business sense. There's a quote here. Apologies that it's not from Staffordshire. It's from one of the businesses I've done some work with in Bath. Just because I think it really highlights the benefit that some people don't necessarily think of in terms of recruiting and retaining great staff. If you are an award-winning business, it shows that you set the highest standards and can make you very attractive for recruiting staff. Visit England do a survey after each awards, after people enter, to find out why they entered. And I wanted to share these statistics with you because I think they're really interesting. You can see that just under 3/4 enter because they want to go on and win nationally. You can also see that another reason why people enter is because if you enter the awards, you get free feedback on your entry. So it's useful in terms of a benchmarking tool. And you can see the PR as well. PR is amazing. And Mark will, I'm sure, tell us a bit about this in a minute. But when you win at the Staffordshire Awards, you've got a fantastic opportunity for your local and regional media to be telling good news stories about your business. And then if you go on to win at the Visit England Awards, you've got another bite of the cherry because you have a chance to be part of their national publicity too. We all know that customers love award-winning businesses. And I've seen that so many times when businesses are posting that they've won an award on social media, their customers all join in. And they're all congratulating them and saying well done, and stakeholders and other staff. So it's a real opportunity to bring everyone together. As I mentioned, it helps to motivate staff as well. You can use it when you're creating your entry, you bring all your staff into that as well. And you use your staff to get input into the entry. It can be a real team building exercise as well. when you attend the events, you get an opportunity to network with other great businesses too. So you can see only a quarter of people entered to actually attend the awards event, but they are brilliant events. And so I think it's a very good reason. It's a short film here. I'm not sure whether it'll play, but if it does play, I'm just going to play it for you quickly. So you can just get a bit of a feel for what it's like at an awards event.
Here tonight to celebrate the county's fantastic businesses in the tourism and hospitality sector.
We have some absolutely outstanding tourism businesses. What we don't always do is shout about them and celebrate them and really showcase them to a wider audience. So tonight for the awards is an opportunity not just to celebrate quality and innovation and excellence, but actually to fly the flag for Staffordshire tourism.
It's an incredible event which brings together all those people that are working across Staffordshire and just celebrating everything that they're doing and what they're bringing to the economy and showing how great they are.
Oh, it's been amazing. Everyone applauding each other's businesses, all the different categories coming together, and actually being able to talk to business owners that, you know, we know a little about their business but haven't got to meet them. So it's been a really nice atmosphere.
It's tremendous to see all of the sector together, enjoying themselves and celebrating the best of what Staffordshire tourism's got to offer. We couldn't be prouder to be here today, and it's been a delight.
An event like this means so much to us at Alton Towers Resort because it means we get to celebrate what we've achieved but also see the achievements of others. We get to be amongst like-minded people and really showcase what Staffordshire is. We're all super proud of it. We know it has a lot to offer, and coming together as one voice means we can really shout about Staffordshire.
Entering an award in itself is a decision that I think all businesses should take, because you already win. I think what you do when you fill in the application, you start to self-evaluate your business. You look at those touch points, you look at the areas that you're doing well, you look at those areas where you need to make some improvement. I think it's recognition and it's validation that actually they're doing a good job. They are flying the flag for Staffordshire tourism.
We've been coming to these awards for about 15 years, and it honestly means as much to me now as it always did, if not more actually. We've got a big team, and to go back and share this with them, it's great for their morale. It's great to share it and make sure that we can then pat them on the back and say, look, this is your award.
So that's what it feels like to be at an awards event with lots of happy people. So now we have an award winner who started at the Staffordshire Tourism Awards and then went on to the Visit England Awards last week, which was held in the Harry Potter studios and was very, very exciting, I thought. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a moment so we can all see Mark. And Mark's going to tell us a little bit about what it feels like to enter the award and win an award and what you got out of it. So Mark, can I hand over to you?
Of course you can, Nell. Thank you very much. And it was a fabulous evening down at one of the studio tours, which was a lot of fun for the couple of us that went down there. Really, I think our experience here at the Arboretum is just echoing everything Nell said and everything that was said in the video there. But from the side of a business that's entered awards, we love to enter the Enjoy Staffs Award. We were fortunate enough last autumn to win 3 awards there, and then to go through to the national is a real privilege. And I think what we look at is when the award criteria comes out, we kind of think, what do we want to shout about? What are we really, really proud of? What are we doing at the moment that we want to make a noise about? And kind of, if there's nothing you want to make a noise about, then maybe have a think about what you're doing, because we all do amazing things. Then you need to be very honest about whether what you want to make a noise about matches the criteria of the awards. There's no point in putting your brilliant thing into a section that it's not eligible for. But if it does, and it almost certainly will, because there's a whole bunch of categories. Somebody knows how many I have, 15 categories, something like that. So there's the chance to find. Was that 20, was it, Andrea? Excellent. So loads of categories. So absolutely an opportunity for everybody to find something that you want to shout about, that you're proud about, that's worthy of doing. And then you just need to build up that clear evidence. And I think that's the bit that sometimes takes a little bit of time, a little bit of energy of, you just don't want to say, yeah, we're good at doing this. You want to say, this is the need, this is what we've done, these are the results, this is what it means, this is what the outcomes are. So really, really pinning that down. And then that's how you then craft a great application. And, I've no doubt over the next few minutes, you're going to get some great tips on how to do those applications. I always think of them as a bit like a job application or an exam paper. Is every sentence has to do a job for you. So you know what you want to say, you've read the criteria, you know what the judges are looking for, so answer those criteria. Every sentence needs to score you a point against those criteria. And if that's how you craft it, that's great. So for instance, we wouldn't say we'd like to offer every visitor a warm welcome. We'd say our team of trained volunteers make sure that every visitor, regardless of their needs, receives a welcome that's appropriate to their reason for being on site. So something along those lines, back it up with some evidence. You'll get some really good insight, I know, from judges about how to shape that. And then really it's what it means for us. What benefits do we get from entering the awards? And there's pride, there's confidence, there's profile, there's the marketing assets, as someone said, putting winner on your over your logo on your website, on your social media. It really means something. The team do get pride from that. You've analysed your performance. That should give you the confidence that what you're doing really is relevant and really does mean something. And then what we also love to do here is to make that about the team. So both involve the team in what do we think the award wants to be, but then we use it to celebrate. And just to get on a shortlist and get to a final is worth celebrating. Not everybody that enters will get on the shortlist. Everyone that enters the regional gets to the national. So when you're getting, if you're at that regional shortlist, then absolutely celebrate it. What we did last week for the national one was we got the 20 or so people in the team that really do operate aspects, the building that won the Business Events Venue of the Year award. We got them in there. We bought some pizza, so my chef team didn't have to cook food. We bought pizza. We got them some beers, and they watched the live stream, the results. So right from the beginning of the evening, they were joined in and were helping to celebrate that. And my strong belief, and I've told the team this, is that when we were announced as the winners, I could hear the cheer up in Staffordshire over and above the noise down in Warner Brothers. I don't think anyone believed me, but I knew there was a huge celebration. And actually on our social media then we were able to amplify that and talk to whoever follows our social media about the fact the team was celebrating. And since we've come back, I've had a whole bunch of emails in my inbox, and it was our team and our volunteers, everybody that got together, just thanking me for recognizing the work that they'd done, for including them in that celebration, and for giving them the chance to come together in more of a social setting to celebrate something. So we'll get extra bookings because we're winners. We'll get increased profile on social media. People will recognize the winners thing, but it's people, absolutely people, that make places, and the fact that we've given our team that boost of confidence and pride and enjoyment, I think that's what really drives it. So in a nutshell, I think that's what it means to us.
Mark, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think my job is done. I think we can just...
No, you'll make it much more sense. So
it was brilliant. Thank you. It's really, really good to hear firsthand about the differences that it can make to staff and morale, and because it's been so hard for everybody that it's just like, it's great to have a celebration.
No worries. Look, I need to shoot off. I'm going to drop my email address in the chat, and if anybody's got any follow-up questions they want to specifically send to me, more than happy to pick those up.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Mark. That's really
thanks
kind.
Everyone. Bye.
Bye. Right. That was brilliant. That was absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to check with you guys. I've got a poll, but I don't think we need to do it with just the two of you. I can quite simply ask you, have you started your entry yet? No, not yet. So you haven't logged onto the open water system yet? Okay, cool. We're going to run through that now, so that's absolutely fine. And have you entered the awards before?
No.
No. Great stuff. That's brilliant. I shall go back to sharing my screen again, so you'll disappear from me. So thank you. There we go. So thanks to Mark. And these were the winners. As I said, the Staffordshire Awards are the start of a journey. So if you win in the Staffordshire Awards in most of the categories, not all of them, you get put through automatically to the Visit England Awards. So you don't have to fill in an entry form again. You don't have to do anything. This will happen automatically. And you can see here are the 3 winners that won at the event last week, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, put Staffordshire on the map. So it's the start of a journey, the awards, which can take you to national stardom. So this is just really a summary of the benefits. And also there's a couple of links there. And as I said at the beginning, I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you. So you'll be able to go through and you'll be able to have a look at the award winners PR toolkit and find out a little bit more about the Visit England Awards if you'd like to. So now we're going to go through the actual process of the entry forms. So we've said it's a feeder into the Visit England Awards. Everyone that enters awards all across the country are using the same entry form as you. And all the judges are using the same scoring matrix. They have guidance for scoring. So all the judges across the country are using the same scoring. So it ensures that there's parity across the country. So when you go into Open Water, which is a system that everybody uses for the awards, you have to first of all create an account. And it's fairly straightforward. It's just with a few details. And once you've created your account, you can see the categories that are available for you to enter. And what we find usually is that businesses might start out entering one, but then decide that they want to enter another one, that they're eligible to enter another one. So for example, quite often hotels might enter restaurant or accessible as well. If you're doing amazing things with sustainability, if you're an attraction or accommodation, you might want to enter that too. And I strongly believe that the passionate tourism businesses across the land all have unsung heroes. And these are people that they're not necessarily owners or managers, but they're people that go above and beyond their day job. And you have the opportunity now to nominate those people. Sometimes people tell them they've been nominated and sometimes they don't. So it's a surprise on the night. So Unsung Hero is open to everybody. We've also got experience. And then you have some awards that are unique to Staffordshire. And you're going to find out more details about the Rising Star and the Team of the Year soon. And there's also a Farm Shop of the Year, and that's only run in Staffordshire. So that means that that won't go through to Visit England. That's purely in Staffordshire. So all of these categories are on the Open Water site. So once you start, you can just go on and you just click on one of those, and then it will take you through to the eligibility criteria. And it's really important that you have a look through this because you need to make sure that you're entering the appropriate category. And the criteria is different for each of the different awards. And is anyone entering a taste category, do you think? You might be entering a foodie one. Anyone?
Well, maybe. I mean, to be honest, somebody's sent me the information. So this is the first day I've read the email. I don't know what I'm entering or
okay. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yet. But we are a farm shop, a destination. We're a walking experience, and we have a cafe. So I don't know what I'm supposed to enter. Really, I haven't really looked at it yet. So don't know.
You can enter loads then.
No, I didn't realise that was an option. If I'm honest, it's all this is all new to me. So I'm just reading it as you're introducing it.
Well, you can enter absolutely as many as you like. But for the taste category, what happens is that you will, in Staffordshire, they run 3 categories, which you can see there. And when you go onto the Open Water system, you'll click on the Taste of England category at the top, and then you need to scroll down the page and then click on the drop-down box, and then you'll have an option to choose one of those, just because that's what's called it's a merged category.
Right.
If you want to have a look at the entry forms before you actually go onto the Open Water system, so if you want to find out what's involved, Staffordshire have got copies of all the entry forms on their website, and there's a link to that there. So you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to download the entry form in Word. You'll be able to go through it, look at the criteria that's involved. And then sometimes people use those forms to draft their entry. But when you actually enter, it needs to be done online through the online system. So you can either go straight to the online system and start typing it in and then save it as you go along, because on Open Water, on open water, you have the opportunity to save all the way along. So you can save your entries you're going along, come back to it at a later date. You can print it out if you want to. So you can share it with your team or suppliers or customers to get their feedback on it too. And you can keep working on it up until the point where you press submit. And once submit, it's gone. Okay, so you go through it and you can keep adding to it and so on. So as I said, the eligibility is different for each category, and you'll see that when you go on there and have a look at it. So like I say, it's different. So now we're going to come on to your entry form. So you've gone on to Open Water, you've created an account, you've had a look at all the different categories which are on the Staffordshire website, and you've thought, wow, I think I might enter Experience of the Year, Farm Shop, and also Cafe of the Year. So you can enter as many as you like, or as many as you're eligible for. So you'll go on, and then you'll have 4 questions that you have to answer online. But before you answer those 4 questions, you're just giving the judges a bit of background, because the judges don't know your business. So you're talking to someone that has never heard of you before, has got no preconceived ideas of what you're like or anything. So basically, you have to spell everything out to people so that they know all about you. So the first part of the entry form is all about setting the scene. And here is when you get the opportunity to pop your business details down. You put any awards that you've got, that you've won over the last 2 years down. And they can be big awards like Michelin stars. They can be local awards, Chamber of Commerce. They could be TripAdvisor awards. They could be green tourism. They could be all manner of things. So they could be big awards, small awards, just make sure you get them all down. And then you have to include up to 3 photographs about your business. So for example, if you were entering experience, you'd want to include photos of your experience. If you're entering cafe, you'd want to include photos of your food. So the photos have to be relevant to your entry, and they shouldn't be tampered with at all. And if someone else took them for you, there's a section where you can actually put who the photo credits for. So you need to make sure they're high resolution. And the reason for taking the time with getting the photos right is that if you win, these are the photos that are going to be used on the day, on the awards, at the awards event. And they're also going to be the photos that are used for Visit England too. So make sure you get some really good photos there. For each of the answers that you're going to give, you have the opportunity to include supporting evidence. And you don't have to, it's not compulsory, but there might be things that you want to include that would enhance your entry. So you're writing your answer, and then you think, right, I've written about our amazing customer service, so I want to include a link to a specific TripAdvisor review or another customer review. Or you're talking about your amazing food and you want to include a link to a menu. So the supporting evidence is there to illustrate the points you make in the question. So and they all have to be URLs. And I had a question actually earlier today with someone who said, well, I've got a sustainability policy and I want to include it in my entry, but it's not on the website at the moment. How can I include it? If you use things like Dropbox or Google, you can attach, you could upload it as a PDF, and then you share the link that way. So all the supporting evidence are given in URLs. So now we come on to the first part of it, the first scored section of the form, if you like. And this is all about your online presence, and it will score 30%. So the first thing that you have to include here are details of your website. And say if you're, I'm just thinking, Anna, what are you thinking of entering?
The farm shop one, and then the tea room and coffee shop one.
Okay, cool. So I was just thinking that if you've got a generic website and the farm shop is part of that, the link that you include here should be the link to the farm shop.
Okay.
If you're including an experience, the link here should be the link to the actual experience. And the same with the social media platforms. So things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any of those platforms that you're using, if they need to be specific to the category that you're entering. So as we've said, you can enter more than one, but you're going to be writing different information on for each form. So for the cafe form, you're going to be writing different information than you would for the farm shop form. For the experience form, you're going to be giving different answers there. So the links probably would be different as well. So there's also a couple of spaces there for you to include a link to your sustainability policy and also to your accessibility guide. So they should obviously be in kind of pride of place on your website, so they're very, very easily accessible for people. So they're the links that you have to include, and also links through to online review sites too. So they might be sites that are particularly relevant to you. They might not necessarily be TripAdvisor, they could be Google, Facebook, Booking.com, any number of review sites, but make sure you include them in there. And then what the judges will be looking for, they'll be looking for how you're using all of your social media platforms. So they're going to be looking for things about what you're posting, how inspirational it is, how you are engaging with your customers. Are you replying to reviews that people give you? Are you making sure those replies are personal? Are you engaging with comments and your customers on social media? Is your website current? Is it accessible? Can you look at it on mobile and tablet? Because we know more and more mobile is so important now. They'll be looking for things like, what are you posting on social media? Are you posting film? Are you posting the latest events? Are you posting opportunities for people to buy? Are you posting things about your sustainability credentials or your accessibility? Or I think I gave an example just now of someone had posted, there it is, someone had posted on Facebook a review from their customers. So, and thanking their customers as well. So it's quite a chunk of the entry form list, so it's really worth considering it. And in terms of things that Mark was talking about earlier, it makes you think about how you're using your online life, if you like. So what are you doing to engage with visitors? And Visit England have got a really interesting, useful toolkit. So if you want any advice about digital at all, have a look at this toolkit, because it's really, really useful. And it can help you in like so many ways in terms of looking at what you could be doing. So we've got the reviews there. What else have we got there? So that's pretty much all of it for that, I think, that section. So now we come on to the first question. So this is the entry form. The first question is top qualities. So top qualities basically are, why are you brilliant? Why should you win this award? What makes you better than anyone else? And quite often, you probably know why you're brilliant and you were able to write about that. But sometimes people can get all modest about it. And so then we need to think about, why are you brilliant? And so ask your staff, ask your customers, look at your reviews, find out what makes you stand out from everyone else. What's your, as they call it, unique selling point? What gives you an advantage over everybody else? Because that's why you're going to win. So this top qualities is basically, why should you win? And for this one, you have to give up to 5 examples and you get 500 words. And it will be 20% of the mark. Okay. So on the entry form, it gives you examples of things you can include, which I've shown here on the PowerPoint. So they've given you examples. So if you can write about 5 of those things, you're going in the right direction, because you want to give 5 examples. And what you really, really must do is to make use of the word count. So as Mark said, very, very rightly, you can't just say, yeah, I'm brilliant, I should win, I'm better than everybody else. we need to make sure that we evidence it. And he gave a really good example about that. So in what way do you deliver memorable experiences to people? How do you welcome people? How do you ensure everybody in your business is committed to providing excellent customer service? And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the others in a bit more detail. But yeah, so this is all about being brilliant and evidencing it. And one way that you might be better than your competitors might be the way that you're looking after your staff. And it might be that you are, or that your visitors, that you're always going above and beyond to help your visitors have an amazing time with you. It might be that you are asking for their feedback. It might be that you're working with your staff, if you've got staff, to ask them for suggestions about how you could improve. And then it might be that you have a really brilliant complaints policy. I'm sure you never have any complaints, but if you were to have any, have you got a brilliant complaints policy? If you've got staff, how do you train your staff? Do you have a personalized induction process? This is just one of the ways that you could be better than your competitors. It might be that your staff are better than anyone else's staff. So this is the time to write about them. Celebrity service I've put there, and again, a brilliant man called Jeff Ram. He has written many books about celebrity service, and I like to quote him because he talks about how we offer customer service, and that if we were to imagine that everyone who came through the door was our favorite film star, how would we treat them? And how do we make sure that we treat every person in that same way? We shouldn't be treating anybody differently. Again, it goes back to Mark's point earlier. So caring for your visitors is one of the ways. You might be doing amazing, innovative marketing. And again, there's a link to a toolkit here if you want to find out a bit more about PR. So what innovative marketing are you doing that makes you better than anyone else? Are you doing something amazingly creative and innovative? Are you working with Enjoy Staffordshire or Visit England on any of their marketing campaigns? Are you working with other local businesses? Are you doing clever things on social media? Or are you doing something really wacky? Are you having product launches? What makes you different about your marketing? There's so many things there. We could spend probably about a day on that, but there's a toolkit for you to have a look at if you'd like to. It might be you are better than anyone else because of your accessibility. Now, this is a really, really important area to cover because it has an impact on all of our businesses. So it shouldn't be looked at in isolation. And again, it comes back to Mark's point about welcoming everybody through the door. We need to ensure that we are able to offer a warm welcome to every single person that comes through the door. And you might be looking at accessibility in terms of providing a warm welcome to, say, some places have like sensory gardens, or if you haven't got accommodation here, but if you had accommodation, it would be like color contrast with things. It would be what would be your evacuation process for people that have access requirements? How are your staff engaged with access? Have you got an accessibility guide? Really, really important point here, because people that have access needs want information in advance of booking. They want to find out lots and lots of details. So by having an accessibility guide, you're opening up your market. A few years ago, it was said that 1 in 5 people have a requirement, but I think it's come down now. So I think it's much lower than that. So more people have got accessibility requirements. So are you brilliant because of what you're doing with regards to accessibility? Are you brilliant because of what you're doing with regards to sustainability? Do you stand out from everyone else because of work that you're doing? This might be big things like solar panels or wood chip boilers, or can't think of anything big at the moment. Something really, really big. Encouraging building hedgehog hotels or insect dens, or lots of, so you can have big things and then you can have small things. For example, how are you attracting wildlife to your business? How are you encouraging your visitors to use public transport if it's possible, or walking or cycling? How do you promote local attractions near you? How do you promote public transport? How do you promote the way that you're saving water or managing your waste? Do you work with suppliers to encourage them to remove their packaging before it comes to you? What are you doing to reduce your carbon footprint? What are you doing to reduce plastic? So this is a massive field again, but from the purpose of your entry form, this might be one of the areas that you major in. I'm not sure, but you can find out a lot more about sustainability on that link there. And I'm lucky enough to be able to go and travel around and see amazing tourism businesses all across the land. And so I like taking pictures too. So there's a few examples here about ways that you can show visitors that you are being sustainable. And it's, so if you are using local produce, how are you shouting about it? Do you have signs on the wall that say where your produce comes from? Do you have, I've seen some places, I don't think I've got a picture there. No, there's no picture, but you know, some places have a map on the wall with, you know, a piece of string and bits stuck in. So, and it shows where all their suppliers are. Other businesses would have a page on their website, which would have details about all their local suppliers. And some of them even have little films of the suppliers talking. So you have the local butcher talking, you have the baker talking, and then they share that on social media as well, because people like to know where their produce is coming from, and quite often are willing to pay more for that. So giving to charity is another way, and working with local communities. Some businesses sponsor football teams, they give talks to schools. Some businesses provide wellies so people can go out walking, or bikes, or cycle hire, or composting. There's recycling, which everybody will be doing now anyway. But it's, what are you doing to be environmentally friendly, and how are you sharing that with your staff and your visitors too? So they're just some ideas of how you can be brilliant. So, and how you're sharing that with your guests too. So this is the next question. So question 1, what are your top qualities? Question 2, what improvements have you made over the last year? It might be 2 years actually. And again, the judges will be looking for up to 5 things here and 500 words. So again, make sure you're using every word here. So have a think about what you've done over the last year. Maybe Angela might be able to correct me here, whether it's a year or 2 years. Oh, it's 2 years. It's 2 years. And what have you done over the last 2 years? And you know, the world as we know has changed over the last 2 years. So I'm sure that all of you will have done things differently and improved things over the last 2 years. And so what we need to write about here is what improvements have you made, and why have you done it, and what has been the impact of you doing it? Has it been a big thing? Has it been a small thing? And these improvements should be across all of your business. So we're looking for 5 things across your business. And what I mean by that is you might have improved facilities, you might have improved services, you might have improved marketing, you might have improved customer care, you might have improved sustainability, access, that kind of thing. So we're looking for improvements across the whole of the business, and a reason why you've made that improvement. So, you know, just now we were talking about getting customer feedback and responding to reviews. It might be that your customers have said, we would like you to do this. And then one of your improvements might have been, we did this because our customer said it was too hot and we needed a fan. So we went out and got some fans. Or we, I can't think of an energy efficient fan, but I don't know, something to keep us cool. So the improvements, you need to say whether they were, what sort of scale they are, and when you made them. So what was the date of the improvement? Did you expand because your business was growing? did you think that you wanted to attract new markets? So you might have thought, right, I'm going to be attracting a younger market, so I need to be providing this particular service or facility, or I'm going to be tackling an older market, so I need to be doing this. Am I looking at focusing on families? What have you done, and why have you done it? And again, it might have been improvements to your sustainability or accessibility or training. And quite often, businesses of any size can enter these awards, absolutely any size. It could be a person, a pub that I know near me that has 6 people, very young team, entered Pub of the Year in Bristol, Bath and Somerset, and won. And then they went through to the Southwest Awards, and then they won. And they went through to the Visit England Awards, and they won that. And so they're a tiny, tiny team, and they won Pub of the Year. So businesses of absolutely any size can enter. So I think don't let the anything like that put you off. So question 2, improvements, 500 words, 20% of the mark, and you need to put up to 5 things here. Then question 3 is all about what was the impact of doing that. So this is all about results. So we want to be putting things in here that are very, very specific. So as a result of sending 2 of my staff on a customer care course, my customer satisfaction went up to 99%. As a result of this particular marketing campaign, we generated X amount in income. As a result of including a flyer in one of my local newspapers, we generated this amount of trade. As a result of posting any particular social media, this happened. So this is the opportunity that you can't be vague. And again, going back to what Mark's point, it has to be evidence-based. So whatever you put here is like, as a result of this improvement, this happened. And for this, you need to put 3 things down. So, and I think you get 300 words for this. And then what has been the impact on your business of making that particular improvement and the results? So if it is a, a massive increase in visitor numbers, you need to be putting that down. What's the, how significant has it been for your business? So that's question 3. So that's all about results. And then question 4 is all about the future. So this is about what you're going to do in the next year. So what are your plans? So what have you thought about doing? What are you going to do over the next year? And again, you need to put 3 things here. I think it is, look on the entry form. The entry forms are very specific. And I say, definitely read the questions very, very carefully, because it will either say up to 5 or it will say 3. And as we said before, the judges don't know your business, so you can't assume anything. So you need to make full use of the word count and give the answers that the judges are asking for. So if it says it wants 3 points, then use these examples here to illustrate 3 of the things that you're going to do in the future. And again, they can be across marketing, sustainability, all that kind of stuff. And I hope you like the pictures that we've got included here that Andrea sent to me of all the lovely businesses that have won in the past as well, just to show the range of businesses that enter these awards. So in terms of top tips, if you like, as I just said, you need to make sure you read the guidance notes really carefully, because they're there to help you, and Andrea's there to help you, and her team are too. They want you to do well, and they want to help you all the way through the process, which is a starting point is today. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you to produce a brilliant entry form and to win, because then you'll be putting Staffordshire on the map. So that's what we want you to do. So make sure you read the guidance notes on the website, because there's loads of information on the website, but also on the entry form. And then look at the categories. As I say, there might be more than one you want to enter, and then read through the questions. You need to tailor your answer. But like I said earlier, if you were going to enter more than one, you would need to make sure that each entry form is different. So each entry form relates to the particular category that you'll enter. And obviously you're going to be writing stuff that is factually correct. We're not going to think, oh, I haven't done anything innovative this year, so I'm going to do this. Because if you get shortlisted, your judges are going to come and visit you. And so they're going to be looking for everything that you've said. So everything has to be factually correct. As I said before, for each of those answers, you can include supporting evidence. So you've got 4 questions, 4 answers, and you can include supporting evidence to support those answers. So they might be things like we said, they might be images that you might want to use to illustrate a point, put a URL through to an image. It might be a link, if you're talking about sustainability, it might be a link to something particularly sustainable that you've done. If you're talking about food, it might be a link to a menu. So support your answers with evidence. Detail, we've talked about all of these things, making sure all the elements of your business are covered. These awards are all about excellence. That's the key thing. They're all about excellence, and you're here today because you are excellent. So that needs to shine through in your entry form. So the attention to detail, the care, the love that you give your business, that all needs to come out on your entry form. So you need to make sure that you proofread it. And if you're like me, you quite often can't see your own typos. So I will write something, and then I'm very bad because I'll print it out because I can't see it on a computer screen. I'll print it out and then I will read it, and then I'll get someone else to read it to double check it. And then that's before I submit it. So I definitely, I don't know how you do things, but I definitely get someone to make sure, proofread it and sense check it. And it's a good way of involving, if you've got staff or a partner or family or friends, a good way of getting them involved in it, to use it as a real team building exercise, because you might think of one thing, and when you show them your answer to question 1, they might think, no, why haven't you written about that? You should include that for sure. Or they might have an idea of different evidence that you could use. So really be inclusive about this. Some people ask their customers, some people ask their stakeholders, some people ask the staff, some people ask, their children. It depends on the size of the business. So make sure that you include everybody. And so showing that you care, you're acting on feedback. Really look at review sites too and how you respond to them. View them as a marketing opportunity. Make sure you submit the form, because that's the crucial thing of getting it in by the deadline. These open waters automated, so it gets to the end of the awards and then it just shuts. And so we quite often get people say, oh, this has happened or that has happened, and it's just like, we can't, it's shut. As I said before, you can go through, you could start drafting it now, and then you could go back to it next week, as long as you're saving it as you're going along. Make sure you save it as you go along, and then make sure that you submit it on time and read the question. So the next steps are, have a look at these links if you'd like to, because that might help in terms of what you want to include on your entry form. It might help in terms of your business. It certainly gives you some links to everything. Have a good look at the Staffordshire website, because there's loads of really useful information on there about why other people have entered, if you've got any more questions. And then there's an email as well, so you can contact Andrew on there if you've got any more questions. The timetable, hey, your award's closed just after my birthday. So you've got an award ceremony to look forward to next March. So you've got a bit of time now. So you've got a month and a bit to get your entries in. So lots of time for preparation, gathering evidence, and then submitting. And then customers love brilliant businesses. So being excellent and being recognised for being excellent pays. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to stop screen sharing. There we go. And I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and stop recording.